Let's talk about what a temporary buy down is and how you get one.
Yeah.
First, to point out that a temporary buy down is not available on every type of loan or every program. You're not always going to be able to do that. And the way it works is, let's say your traditional rate is going to be 6.25, or we'll just say 6.5, because that's more realistic with where today's market is on a conventional loan. You're at 6.5%. That's what the rate is supposed to be. A temporary buy down, depending on what type you get, is going to give you a lower rate for the first 2 years, sometimes 3 years, depending on the program. Let's just say it's a 2 year buy down. Your rate would start at 4.5 year one. Year two, it goes to 5.5. And then after year two, it's 6.5 for the remainder of the duration of your loan. The way that the temporary buy down works is we, as the lender, calculate what that payment differential is from the 4.5 to the 6.5, that 2% rate difference. We figure out how much that is monthly. And then we figure out the same with the 5.5 to the 6.5. And then we add up all that payment savings for 2 years and we come up with what that number is. And then we ask the seller to pay it. Now, it's also important to point out that the seller can only contribute so much in closing costs, depending on what type of loan you're getting and how much money you're putting down, which is something that a lot of people aren't aware of. If you're just doing a 5% down conventional loan, you can only get 3% in seller concessions. So if you're doing a temporary rate buy down, that's going to eat up a big chunk of that 3%, a good portion of it. If you're doing a temporary rate buy down, that's going to eat up a big chunk of that 3%, a good portion of it. You're not going to have enough to cover the rest of your closing costs. So
Right.
there are a lot of things that factor in that you need to figure out, or have your professionals that are working with you figure out.
We're going to do the temporary buy down and then pay some of your escrow, and you're bringing a lot less money.
If you're a home seller that's having a tough time getting your home sold, that is a great thing that you can introduce to the equation. I would call it a marketing play, but if you're willing to give up some of that equity on a house that you're having trouble selling anyway,
Don't drop the price.
don't drop the price, give a temporary rate reduction. That will save somebody hundreds of dollars a month for a couple of years. That may be what gets your home sold.